and just answer the question. You have to do this now. We're on air. 888-957. Oh, God. 957-9570.
Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
Steiny along with Willard and Dibs, and Guru, he comes in here when he wants. Sometimes he pops in, does a show, sometimes hey!
If we were in college, man,
you'd knock me out?
You'd have two black eyes, man.
Two-piece.
Yeah, adjust your camera. It would take a one-piece, Dibs.
Yeah.
What's up, Willard? I missed you, baby.
How we doing, boys? I love it when everybody takes time away from each other and it takes one show. One show. And y'all want to strangle each other already. One show.
Yay!
But can I just say something to you, Dibs? I don't know how much you've been listening. I'm warriored out. But the Niners, I expect them to just drag mollywop the Green Bay Packers, and I got to have appropriate fear. But watching Dallas and Philly, who all season long we talked about them being foes for the Niners in the NFC, I'm just saying right now, for the next few years, I know it's Operation Las Vegas, the Niners could run off 2 chips in the next 3 years. And Steiny had to throw something in my Cheerios for he understood it, but then he goes, the next 10 years. But Willard, am I crazy to think that way? The Niners are loaded right now.
Well,
man. They got to go do it, but they're loaded.
My mind is 1,000% totally blocked out the future.
How does that conversation what's the conversation sound like? They're loaded up. They could win 2 straight Super Bowls. Okay, that's going to be really tough.
Well, Philly and Dallas have to me, they got to get their house in orders. The AFC, you got a bunch of young bucks coming.
But let's take Philly as a great example.
Dude.
Of I don't want to even think about next year because stuff like that happens. And none of us know what the hell the story is behind the scenes. I mean, I can sit here and victory lap even I, who had the strongest, hardest, they're not that good take. I didn't think they were this bad.
Man, you got it from YouTube anyway.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, their defense was not good all year long. But then they got to a point where they're terrible and they couldn't even move the ball and they were banged up and this, that. So I don't want to think about and assume what the Niners will be next year because of any injuries or who knows what is hanging out around the corner. I am singularly focused on the next 3 weeks of our lives.
Well, you still got to be excited, though.
Of course. Okay. Chances don't come better than this.
Detroit, Tampa Bay, and Green Bay.
But chances don't
this
come
year,
better than this.
You're thinking of this year.
Right now.
And
obviously you can't win 2 in a row unless you win the first one.
And that's why
I do not care about anything but the next 14 days.
Let me take you back 18 months.
Please.
I call in sick, and it's just you and Goo. And Goo goes, Dibs, this team, this is dynasty. It's set up. 49ers, next 2 years, 2+ dynasty. They got it set up for a dynasty.
It was still me, you, and him? No,
I'm gone.
Okay. You were out and I was in?
Gone.
It's crazy. Yeah, it is set up for a dynasty.
Dibs, the weaponry.
You have to
Purdy.
You have to win 1 before you can win 2 of the next 3. So you look at Kansas City, and they won 2 of 3, and they went to 3 of 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And
lost to Tampa.
Exactly. Are they a dynasty? Maybe, maybe not. In football terms, maybe they are. But you look at Philadelphia, and you wonder why it ended the way it ended. Wow. And all you have to do is look at that roster and look at the number next to years played in the NFL. And you look at all these guys who had been there for a long time. So many guys. Jason Kelsey, he's retiring. Yeah. And you look across the board, they have a lot of older players, and they have a coach who is not a made man. And he might lose his job unbelievably
he was acting
based on the collapse. Yeah. Of course, he was acting made. And we look at McVay, and he acts the same way, but he's got one. So he can act a little bit like that and get away with it. Sirianni, you've done nothing, my friend, and you want to take it to Dallas. And while Dallas is functionally broken from the top, and their head coach is a shell of what you want your head coach to be, and your quarterback is great until January, September to December.
He said my mind was moving faster than my body. Those are ghosts.
No, and you could see that by watching the game.
There's no doubt.
You
I
watch
thought
that
about
game,
you so much during that game.
and you watch Jordan Love, and if you and Mark likes to say this, and it's kind of a funny way to describe it, but if you just came down from outer space and landed on Earth and watched that game, and you had somebody on Earth say, which one of these quarterbacks is the veteran and which one is the rookie, you would have thought that your guy, Dak, was the rook.
Incredible.
Because Jay Love, and shout out
like
Jenny from the block, he looked comfortable and poised, and the way he throws the ball, and that's why you can talk about the Niners winning 2 of the next 3. I'm kind of with Mark in terms of focusing on Saturday because Jordan Love and that wide receiver group, they're a problem against a Niner team that's got secondary issues. Jordan Love, when he throws it, that thing comes out tight,
no doubt,
accurate, back foot, left foot, right foot, sidearm. Doesn't matter.
You know what was crazy watching him play is because I always think about the Chicago Bears as a team that my entire lifetime, the Bears have never really had a quarterback. Like my whole life. I know
Jim McMahon's the only one I know.
McMahon, but come on, they won that team because of their defense. You know what I mean? So even that was short lived. So it feels like my whole life the Bears have been looking. My whole life, the Packers never have.
Wow.
Yeah.
They've never been looking for a quarterback the entire time I've been watching football.
Favre
since
for
the
about
80s.
14, Rodgers for another dozen or so, and now this guy.
This guy.
Yeah.
They've never been looking for a quarterback
crazy,
since the 90s.
Is Jordan Love the quarterback for the next decade of that team?
I mean, you would think.
Today, I would say yes.
Now, again.
Well, I mean, I think Justin Fields.
I think
I like him, guys.
I like Justin. If I were the Bears,
trade that pick.
If I were the Bears, I'd keep Justin because if you trade him, he's going to end up on the Falcons and they're going to kill you. So anyway, look, small sample size. We love to play that game.
We don't do that on our show.
I heard Bonte this morning say that if in the NFC quarterback draft he'd take Jordan Love over Brock Purdy. It set my whole day off in a terrible direction. My whole day has been absolutely ruined.
Stafford?
He's 36.
Well, he's not in it.
Y'all laughed.
Never mind.
They should have won that game.
Talking about the final.
Did you hear the guy who called in and said Patrick Mahomes would never be able to pick up Kyle Shanahan's system?
He ain't accurate.
Stop it.
Boy.
Stop it. Although you're not exempt either, Steiny. You're not exempt. Because you were sitting here with this whole Chiefs-Niners thing in the future, right? 3 years, would you take the Chiefs?
No, he took it to 10.
Whatever, 10 years.
Future.
No, but then you're like, so what I'm essentially asking you all is, do you want the team with the franchise QB?
Exactly.
Or do you want the team with the great roster?
Yeah. I wish I would have.
Huh? What's he got to do to be a franchise QB?
Well, he is, but it's once he gets paid, Mark.
He's going to get paid, Steiny.
Okay.
How the hell is he not going to get paid? And that's in a year.
The question's simple.
So if you're asking about the next 3 to 10, you're talking about 2 dudes who are going to get paid. You're talking about 2 dudes who are going to get paid.
Right, and Mahomes has proven that no matter what, he will have his team in the playoffs, and they're going to win 11.
And Brock has never done anything different in his 2 tries.
Not making $50 million a year.
Correct.
That's what his argument is.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay,
so I'm taking a short, Patrick Mahomes has won, this is 6 years, won at least 11 games every year, couple Super Bowls. Like that, to me, the proof is in that there will be times over the next, 8 years of Patrick Mahomes' career, sometimes they'll be able to put great guys around him.
Correct.
Some other side. But because he's there, I think it ensures a winning team.
Probably.
Okay.
Nobody in his division has challenged him yet.
Well, I haven't, I didn't take it out to that.
Nobody in his division has been good yet.
I took it out to.
I don't think the Chiefs are all that good this year.
I took it out to, but I took it out to, if you're telling me in 2 years Brock's a $40 million quarterback, which means we're going to have a different type team around him, isn't it fair to say, yeah, I'd like to see him show that he's the kind of quarterback where if we have him, we're going to be year in and year out, we're going to be knocking on the door.
The franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, what does knocking on the door mean? You know what I mean?
Is that making the playoffs 6 straight years?
Because they've been knocking on the door.
Dak Prescott makes the playoffs every year.
But I'm using Mahomes,
you know what I mean?
Made a run.
Josh Allen makes the playoffs every
I'm
year.
using Mahomes, though.
Okay.
Because Mahomes is Mahomes.
Well, so that's the face of the league.
Right. That's why I'm saying I'm taking Mahomes.
But okay.
I don't think I'm alone. I think it's probably split.
That's not that hot of a take. My issue with it
Guru would take the Niners.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
And you would take the Niners.
No, I didn't even get involved in the conversation. I'm bothered by the fact that you don't yet want to call Brock Purdy franchise quarterback.
I wouldn't say that.
Your show bothered me less than the first show, but it still bothered me a little bit.
I'm not sitting here saying Brock Purdy is not a franchise quarterback.
Well, that was the way you couched it.
Well, I think
you want the team
okay,
the way he was intending
okay, fine.
it.
You know what?
He's
not. Yeah. He's not a franchise quarterback till he gets his big contract.
Okay.
Then that means to me he's a franchise quarterback.
Which you will. I mean, that's the way this works.
Okay.
And that's when the clock starts in his mind in terms of like when you're making that 40 or 50 million and your roster's not as good, that's when you're being, held to that standard of franchise quarterback. Dak is an interesting case because he's made that money now for, soon, for what, 2 or 3 years since he's gotten that big money.
3, right? Yeah.
And regular season, he's amazing and they're amazing. And then you watch that thing, and this is where I excuse it. It's not Dak, in my opinion. It's the construct of the Cowboys. We are 2 drives into that game, and C.D. Lamb is already mad.
What was that about, man? You just coming off the bet, people calling you the best tandem. Like, that threw me up.
Dude,
that was foul.
We are 8 minutes into the game,
man.
8 minutes in, and he's already pissed off because he's not getting the ball.
Good Lord,
dude!
man.
Can we play 3 quarters before we get that mad? That to me speaks to more of a
The Niners don't have that. They don't do that stuff, man. If they do it, it's behind closed doors.
That's coaching and that's culture.
Man.
To me, it's also
what a word, culture.
Well, Eagles, it's like,
oh my god.
And Troy Aikman couldn't have harped on it more. And why didn't they run the ball?
Did you see Goddard?
Goddard down 7-0.
He almost went in hurt.
AJ Brown.
What was going on?
Brown got mad at him all year. He didn't get mad at him yesterday because he wasn't playing. So Goddard played the Brown role. Like I
was wrong, man.
I'd love to know, and maybe only Big Dom can tell us, Dibs. But I'd love to know.
I'll tell you what happened.
What the hell happened behind the scenes with that team? The stuff that we can't see.
Who's the Russell Wilson? Was somebody getting treated differently or some different rules?
See, I don't know the specifics. I don't know the specifics, but when I see Dallas Goedert do that, I imagine him saying something like, and don't think this isn't on you either, where we're at right now. This is you too. Like, that's what I heard. Just like when I see Marcus Smart.
Why would that happen?
Because
you think that would happen with the Niners?
No. I didn't say that.
No, I know.
I'm just saying that looked to me.
Is that?
They're finito.
That looked to me like a player going up to Jalen Hurts and say, "You sit here like you think you got it all under control. You don't." I'm just guessing.
But it was
just like I'm guessing last night.
Yeah.
Just like I'm guessing last night when they showed Draymond Green on the court with Marcus Smart chirping. I'm imagining Marcus Smart saying, "Hey, new and improved Dre. How's new and improved Draymond doing? Hey, Dre, how you doing?" It's like, of course that's what he's saying, right?
And Draymond with referees making him laugh, and it's great. And
speaking of which, I saw your picture with Mark's son.
Yeah.
How'd he do?
Yeah.
Any rough calls?
You did pretty well, Dibs.
Yeah.
You did pretty well.
The correct
I got
is-
mad at you one time. I got mad at you one time.
There are
And it
2 words to
and it
describe.
changed the game. It changed the game.
First of all, it didn't change the
It
game.
changed the game.
Your team scored 4 baskets. Your son had 2, and he assisted on the 3rd.
Right.
They had
they were
no
missing.
chance.
They were missing. So.
Oh, and that's my fault.
No. Here we go.
Hey, guys,
Never mind. My joke has clearly triggered him.
Dibs does not
just kidding.
referee the
Let's
score
move on.
or
This
the
is my
roster.
profession.
Let's move on.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ
You're
FM
right.
and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the Free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Sounds to me like Willard wanted Dibs to ref the score. Oh, my team's down, so we need a couple calls.
I do ref the score.
That's not what I do.
always ref the score.
I'm sorry.
No, but not in like
I'm
it was
out
an
on this
8-point game. It was
conversation.
whatever,
Good
Mark.
game.
I'm just kidding.
That was Musselman's thing.
Mark,
always.
what was the call though? You got to.
No, there was in that age,
There's no press.
you can't defend in the backcourt.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
In my humble opinion, one of our players, while we were still down like by 2 or 4, one of our players had control of the ball. And it got knocked out of his hands in the backcourt.
Yeah.
And it turned into a layup that kind of floodgates opened.
Was it a 5-point swing?
There was no call. I went for a walk in the rain. I calmed myself down.
You liar.
And then I came back, and we were fine. We moved on. It's all good.
It's funny
all good. We
the
went
way
and
he
got pizza
describes it, and I could close my eyes and see the call. And the word he used is an interesting one because we're talking about
used a bunch
9-year-olds.
of them.
The word you used is control. So you're talking about a 4th grade B player,
Okay, gotcha.
and we're talking about the word control.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, as the official, one of the determinations I must make is what exactly is the level of control that we have? Because if little Johnny, and his son, by the way, is a fantastic player, and he had a nice little game. Yeah.
Okay.
Lefty. I think he went 2 of 13 from the floor.
No, he
led the
shoots.
team.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shooter shoots. Shoot your shot. That's all you got.
Yeah.
And actually, he had a bunch of good looks, and you know, it's a make or miss league.
Yep.
And the other team, made a few more. But the idea of control is a tough thing to deal with as an official because
no doubt.
it's a dribble, and that ball can go just about anywhere.
Nobody's got control of anything.
Ever. No.
Except for maybe you of the game.
Me.
Yeah.
That's great.
But it was
saw
good.
the photo. That
We
was
parted
cool.
as friends. It was lovely.
You went for a walk in the rain.
And apparently we were some of the only ones who parted as friends that day.
Yeah, there was a game earlier where
Fisticuffs?
no, but I did ask the coach if he'd like to further the conversation
Do you
outside.
want to go
Dibs.
outside?
Don't mess up your
You want to
chicken,
go
buddy.
outside?
That's
by the way,
usually-
this is a game before, so I walked into this. It's Saturday.
It's a Saturday. It's a Saturday.
I'm bebopping,
Man.
right? Like little kids are all over. We're in Tiburon.
Yeah.
There's no problems in life.
It's lovely.
And we walk in, and there's Dibs, and he's right. I'm waving. Where's Dibs, everybody? Come on over. Let's talk. And Dibs hot. Dibs hot. This is
The ears were-
hot.
The ears were red.
This Pavetta.
So it was actually 2 games earlier.
Dibs is a
And-
much better ref than
Okay,
Dick
so
Pavetta
that-
ever was. That's a fact.
The game was a forfeit, and the coach of the one team, the home team, had 5. The other team had 4. And so I'm looking and I'm going, okay, 5 versus 4. It's a forfeit. I'm not reffing. I don't referee forfeits.
Man.
I'm not doing an exhibition. So the coach of the team that had 5 comes over to me and says, "You're going to ref this, right?" And I said, "Actually, no, coach. I'm not bound. I'm not bound to referee a game that's a forfeit, an exhibition." And he proceeds to tell me that I'm no good at my job and I shouldn't
even
be
worked
doing
yet.
this.
Yeah.
And I need to be doing something else. And he actually is a better ref than I am. And he starts to give me the wave off, like, get out of here, get out of here. And so I collect my stuff and I walk to the door and I'm about to leave and he goes, "Just get out of here. You could go. You could go." And I say, "Coach, would you like to continue this conversation
man.
outside?"
No, Dibs, I got my money on you, but IG
You
is
didn't
full of
technically
clips.
have to go anywhere, though, right?
No.
You just were extricating
I have
yourself
an
from
hour
the
off.
situation.
I have an hour off. I went and got coffee.
But IG is full of clips of these refs getting it from the parents. So
I
be careful.
simply asked
I
him
trust in
if
you.
he would like to
I
continue
hear
the
you.
conversation.
But that takes it as you wanted to
outside.
get busy.
No.
Oh, okay.
I
mean-
disagree.
Oh.
I say that last time I used a line like that, I
we're
wanted to get
putting
out of
them
a
up.
fight.
I would have been happy to
Perhaps
exchange.
we should take
I wanted to
this-
exchange our ideas
Okay, all right.
outside
Dibs.
so that I could.
would have took that as you wanted to.
Can we go outside? Because that's where my car is, and I'd like to drive away
Well,
now.
and also I wanted to be able to speak freely when the children
Just
aren't
good, yeah,
around,
the kids.
because I had a few things that I wanted to impart to him that I would not have said in front of 10-year-old
Okay.
girls.
And then it changed my philosophy because Dibs was in a little
All
bit
right,
of a...
okay, boy.
All right, so I had
Boy.
to, well, I had
We
to
get
change.
busy.
I had to change my approach and the approach of my son because I had spent 3 days teaching him.
Okay.
I said, "Listen, here's what you do when Dibs is
River
reffing.
claws.
No matter what the call is, I want you to look at him, put your palms up, and go, 'What?' No matter what he calls, just go, 'What?' Every single time. He goes, 'What if he calls it for us?' Doesn't matter. Look at him.
Young
Go,
Jude.
What? But then, of course, I had to call off the dogs.
That's beautiful.
Although
Dibs had already had a rough day.
His son still did hit me with one
he
of
gave,
these.
he gave him one of these.
Dude, he gave me a
I got
couple.
hit on the arm.
and I was like, come on, Jude.
Well, he did.
No, I'll tell you what.
Got hit on the arm.
I'll tell you quietly, the guy I've noticed that complains like a Brandon Pajemski. He can complain. He's complaining like a 7-year veteran.
Yeah.
By the way, Evan with one of the greatest stats.
What'd he say?
He knows exactly what Pajemski is this year on hook shots.
Oh, yeah, he can. Yeah.
He doesn't make
Dibs,
them.
it's like the
He
Granny
just doesn't
Goose
make
shot or
that hook
something.
shot.
How
It's
many
just-
times has he tried it?
Yeah,
6
but-
times he tried it.
He's 4 for 16 on hook shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
When he
right.
goes up, Willard is
That's like,
like,
that's like
But
a
he's like-
Jordan Poole type percentage.
But he's like 0 for 11 when he goes into it with 2 or more dribbles. Like it's
Oh, okay. So 1 and up.
just like
That's kinda-
Draymond Green.
Yeah.
92% of his threes this year in the first quarter.
Interesting.
I think he has none in the second half of a game.
Wow.
We probably tries
1 or
him
2.
less. How many times he tries?
Steph Curry's shooting percentage
I
from
was trying
30
not
or
to
more
top
feet
Warriors.
is about 25%.
That's
I saw something today on Twitter. He's taken the second most in the association, and he's shooting like 22% from 30 plus.
Wow.
So it's because he can't get by people anymore. That's the only shot he can get that's open, people.
You're baiting me. I'm not going to bite.
I'm just going to say this real quick.
yeah.
5 seconds, we can get back to football because
Yeah.
Mark and I are Steve Kerr at 5 o'clock.
I want to get back to my wife, but go ahead. I want to bring something
Yeah,
up.
I want to see what you can purport to do. It's a wrap. This weird thing, it's like Saran. Go ahead.
So I had to stand up to this bully over here because we come back from break, and I'm talking about my athletic feats in my life, and we were just at a party.
I'm glad
Mia,
this is
her
fun.
cousin
This is
Kevin, beautiful guy, turned 50, had a party. 90s theme, 70s theme.
I saw
so
it.
there was a Soul Train line.
You look
Yeah, I
good.
put it on there. So I did the splits at the party. So he goes on the air, you ain't doing a split. So I immediately on air called Mia, said, call Linda Evan. We put her on. I said, Mia, there's only one answer and one question. Did your husband do the splits? Of course, she said, oh, it wasn't good as he used to. Didn't ask you that. Did I do the splits? She said yes.
Yeah.
She said, that's
well,
a win
what-
for me.
Well,
Hey,
Well-
it ain't good as I did at 20.
the win
But
for you is you got me at a lie for you.
No, hey,
which I
Tim,
didn't think you
your boy
could do.
did it and got back up. Might not been as fast as I used to get up at Willard.
and the idea of the splits
Go ahead.
is there's a lot of gray areas there.
Oh, boy.
So are you talking about the splits where?
Kick out, and then I drop
But how far are we dropping? Like
to the
Thank
floor.
if we measured your
To the
legs,
floor.
is it 180
Oh,
degrees?
no doubt about
No,
it.
you're at about $130, Coach. I
Willard,
saw
you
it.
just-
Yeah, half the staff could limbo under you if they needed to.
Lucas, this is
Why?
the
Is
biggest
there-
blunder.
is
I
there
ain't
a
told
picture?
Lucas this.
Is there
no
a picture of
no
this?
picture.
So
But
how do you-
I
of course
did
there's no
it.
girls.
It was an IG story that's been gone now for some time.
I did it in the
I'm
old
with you.
studio.
I don't even care if you
and
made it or
Lucas
not.
Alexander fumbled everything.
Yeah.
We said recorded. I did it in the old studio, and he fumbled. He don't know I know this, but I
Yeah,
did.
jeez.
So anyway, I did it. And I almost was on a
There
plane
you
that
go,
crashed.
Dave.
I was on
I
a plane
I
going to
believe
North
you,
Carolina
Guru.
that almost
I
crashed.
don't know.
I'm going to leave that there.
Oh, by the way, yeah,
This real talk.
Can I
my
give you guys?
ACL might be done.
Can I
Alaska
give you guys
Airlines
something?
blown out door.
I
Were you
won't
on that
say what
flight?
airline.
Listen,
Okay.
listen. The way that
Not
you,
Northwest.
the way you two started the show yesterday was some of the most entertaining radio
Woman,
I
I
have
need this
heard
medicine, dude.
all year long.
I had
by
to-
far. Did you hear it
I
when they
missed
started
it,
the
missed
show?
it all, yeah.
This guy comes in. He's lost his dad on Friday.
Yeah,
right? He's
yeah.
lost his dad.
Willard, don't
Guru
do it.
comes in here and is like interspersing a story of the worst plane experience
Dibs, it
that
was
you could
real.
ever have. Everyone thought they were going to die. For some reason, you went to the bathroom in the middle of it and tore your ACL. Like, listening to you, particularly you, tell this story was hilarious, folled by
Evan.
the two of them sitting together. And was it Langford that came in and said, I'm sorry for your loss? And Steiny goes, oh, thanks. You know, he had a tough year. And he goes, no, I was talking to Goo about the Cowboys. I'm sitting here. I'm like, this is the greatest. It was 8 conversations in
incredible.
one, and each one of them
That
was
was-
answering the other one's statement with their own statement and
It
story.
was some theater of the mind.
It was tremendous. I was
And here's what it
wholly
was
entertained.
Here's what spurred it on. Guru and I are
Willard,
sitting in there, and here
you're
comes
crazy.
Big
Oh,
Daddy.
Oh, yeah, Victor
coming
Zaragoza,
in,
yeah.
and he looks at and he comes in, he looks at Goo, and he clearly thinking about the Cowboys and blah blah blah. I don't know what he's saying. I'm thinking, I'll tell you, it would be a good Saturday Night Live skit. Is Guru's sitting in here, the Cowboys lost. My dad just died. Here comes Stephen Langford walking in, and he gets in between us, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry to hear about your loss." And it keeps going further and further, and it doesn't make as much sense. Like, yeah,
next year.
I just didn't see that coming, and then I'm thinking, well,
Right.
wait a minute, I
Oh,
thought
it was
Stephen knew my
great.
dad was sick.
Oh, my
He
God.
called him on it too. He goes, "What just happened? The guy loses
so
his pops
funny.
in the
Oh, my
football
God.
team."
I'm glad you made it through that
Oh,
flight.
no doubt,
That
man.
sounded like the
Oh,
worst.
man.
I mean, there's nothing worse
doubt,
than bad
I may be
turbulence
the
on a
late
flight.
great John Matt. Never get on the plane again, man. It was that. I really thought
The
it was
pilot
bad.
was crying when he came out.
No, real
Gutless.
tears. And the lady next to me goes,
Damn
"We're
it.
not going to make it, are we?" What? Stop saying that.
Dude was like,
No, this is
probably
more
not.
than it was. He tried to land when he shouldn't have, and he knows it. And it was more than turbulence.
Yeah.
I went across the thing, man, and I got an appointment today to see if my knee is.
Oh, you weren't
good.
kidding.
All
Dude,
right.
You
I'm
weren't
for
kidding.
real. Yeah. Tears were about.
Steve Kerr,
my
5
God.
o'clock.
Yeah. Only me.
Stevie Kerr, 5
Yeah.
o'clock
I can't wait for that one.
on 95 something.